Welcome guys sa ating Sherofax Audio Tutorial 101, number 101. Ito po ay para sa ating pro audio beginners and hobbyists, mga Pinoy. Siyempre, ang 101 natin ay ang pinaka most in demand sa mga Facebook groups na tinatanong. Speaker to power amp matching at saka power amp to speaker matching. Power amps are normally rated sa RMS. Ang speakers like JH, Nook, Live, X-Line at iba pa ay rated sa max watts. Yun yung nakalagay sa magnet. And then also this will also be a reaction video sa tutorial. Credit na lang sa ating friends sa Unique Squared. Let's go.
Alright, let's get started. I recently got a pair of JBL JRX 125s from uniquesquared.com. They each have a horn and two 15-inch speakers, and I think they sound really good, but they're unpowered or passive, so I had to find an amp before I could get any sound out of them. The first thing I did was find the specs of the speakers. With the specs pulled up, I was only interested in a couple of numbers: the nominal impedance and the power capacity.
Okay. Ang power capacity is basically RMS yun. Okay. At parang yung sample is parang dual JH125. Dalawang 500 watts, total 1,000 watts, power capacity or RMS ay 500 RMS. Okay. Dito makikita nyo, ito ay 15-inch, 800 watts, parang JH128. Okay, ang RMS niya ay 400 watts, kalahati. Ito naman sa baba, katumbas ito ng Live Pro 1K, 1,000 watts. Yan yung nakalagay sa magnet. At ang RMS niya ay kalahati rin, 500 RMS. Sa next slide, dito makikita niyo yung AD 15 TBX 100. Ang watts niya ay 1,400 watts max. Kumbaga, merong Nook na 1,400 atomic, 1,400 watts. Ang RMS niya ay 700 watts RMS. Kalahati rin. So basically, maganda na rin basehan yun. It's a good starting point na hindi naman nalalayo. So ito, halimbawa, Live Pro 1,000 watts, ang RMS niya ibabase natin as 500 watts RMS. Okay. And going back to the video, dual JH125, 1,000 watts siya total max, ang RMS niya 500. So, since dual yun, magiging 4 ohms. Let's go back.
Now there's two main rules of thumb when choosing an amp. First rule of thumb, get an amp that's 50% more powerful than your speakers. Remember our spec sheet? There were two numbers. One was the power capacity, which was 500 watts for the JRX 125. Other spec sheets might call it continuous power capacity, RMS power handling, or program watts, but they all mean the same thing.
Okay. Also, nominal at saka continuous. Pareho rin. AES. For this tutorial, para dito, pare-pareho lang yun. RMS, yung nominal. So, ang naiba lang yung max watts, yung rating, normal rating ng na ginagamit sa mga pro speakers tulad ng Live and JH, X-Line, whatnot. Okay.
Now your amp needs to be 50% more powerful than your speakers because your amp is also doing work. Its job is to pump watts to your speakers. Think of it this way. If you're on foot, you can walk a lot further than you can run before you're completely exhausted and have to stop. So if my amp is rated at 800 watts, pushing a 500 watt speaker will be equivalent to an easy paced walk. But if it's rated at 500 watts, pushing a 500 watt speaker would be more like the equivalent of a strenuous run. You'd be pushing it to its limits and it would wear out pretty quickly. Now, whatever you do not, I repeat, do not underpower your speakers unless you want to ruin your amp. Bottom line.
Okay. Ito ang tinatawag na headroom. Okay. Dito, 800 watts, pero RMS to tsaka yung speaker RMS. 800 watts, 500 watts yung speaker. Sobra siya ng 300 watts. Ang tawag doon, headroom, 300 watts. Para yan doon sa mga matitinding bass notes. Para reserve power yan. Kung 500 watts na amp RMS, 500 watts yung load, RMS din, kaya, pero wala siyang reserve power. Okay? Ngayon, pagka weak ang ampli mo, halimbawa, 250 watts yung ampli, tapos yung speaker mo ay 500 watts, kapos siya. 500 watts RMS ang load, 250 lang yung mahirapan yung ampli. May stress yan. And, kadalasan, ang nagiging resulta niyan ay overdrive, clipping at DC. Pag overdrive, na-volume mo na ng lampas na sa kaya ng ampli. Magsisimula yung mabasag. Kasi yung clean sound signal, pag nabasag yan, yung sound signal nagkakaroon ng clip, nagugupit. Hindi na siya smooth. Yun yung dinig mo na yun. Ito yung smooth, ito yung basag na tunog. Yung mga tuwid na yun, DC yun. Yun ang malakas. Yun ang malakas makainit ng coil. Madalas una nagiging biktima niyan ay tweeter. Let's go back to the video.
So since my pair of JRX 125s each had a power capacity of 500 watts and a 4 ohm load, I was looking for an amp that could push at least 750 watts per channel in a 4 ohm load. Now we're getting back into ohms, and so that brings me to the second rule of thumb. Match your speaker's ohms to the ohms that your amp can handle. Now, amps are generally designed to work with 4, 8, and 16 ohm speakers, but it's very important to know exactly what your amp can handle. If your speaker's ohms are too low for your amp, you run the risk of blowing out your speakers and frying your amp completely.
Okay. Most of the power amps na mga bago, kaya na yung mga 2 ohms. Pero meron pa rin mga bago na hindi pa kaya yung 2 ohms hanggang 4 ohms lang. So, don't go below. Huwag kang bababa dun. So, kung ano yung nasa specs, nasa specifications ng amplifier.
Please don't make that mistake. Now, if your speaker's ohms are too high for your amp, you won't get much sound out of your speakers. It's not as bad, but it's still not good. So, since I've got 2 speakers with a nominal impedance of 4 ohms, I need an amp capable of handling 4 ohms. But remember the first rule of thumb, I also need 750 watts to power my speaker. So I need 750 watts in a 4 ohm load. That's why I decided to go with an XTI 2002 from Crown to power my JBL speakers. As you can see on the spec sheet, it's capable of pushing 800 watts in a 4 ohm load per channel, which means per speaker, left and right.
Okay, so 50% more powerful. So, speaker to amp matching. Halimbawa, meron tayong 1000 watts na Live Pro. Max siya. Dinerive ko na yan, ang factor niyan, yung 50% more powerful. Yung watts max, multiply mo lang ng 0.75. Multiply it by 0.75 para makuha mo yung recommended amplifier So, yung amplifier is 750 watts RMS na power amp, rated at 8 ohm. Yan ay kung dalawang speaker, isa sa left, isa sa right. Ngayon, kung 4 speaker, dalawa sa left, dalawa sa right, ang max watts niyan, total ng dalawa, 2K. 2,000 watts max times 0.75 yung na-derive nating factor. This is speaker to amplifier. Ang kailangan amplifier niyan ay 1,500 watts RMS na power amp rated on 4 ohm load. Okay? Ngayon, amplifier to speaker tayo. Halimbawa, amplifier natin CA12. 4 yung gagamitin nating subs or speakers. Sa 4, bali 4 ohm load yan dahil Tagalawa. Ang output niya ay 1,440 watts. Okay? Ito siya. 1,440 watts. Pag minultiply natin yung finactor ko naman na ito ang factor natin. Amplifier to speaker. Okay. 1.33334. Ang lalabas dyan, 1,920 max. Okay. Bali, almost 2K na rin. Or, 1,000 watts na sub. 4. Okay. Ganun lang kasimple. Now, halimbawa, itong CA18. Dalawang DC8 na subwoofer gagamitin natin. So, ang output niyan, CA18, 1,100. 1,100. Gamitan natin ang calculator. 1,100 times 1.33334 is equal to 1,466 watts max na speaker. Pwede yan yung Nook 80 na 1,400 watts. Yan. Maganda yan for bass. Kasi meron siyang enough headroom. Pero kung sa mid-high, kahit mababa, hindi masyado yung headroom. So, sa bass, kailangan natin yung enough headroom. Kung for mid-high applications, hindi masyado mataas ang demands niyan sa headroom. So, kahit maliit lang or halos pantay lang. JBL Pro, may mga documents yan. Iba-ibang recommendations nila depende sa applications. Like for choir, for acoustics, maliit lang ang demand nun sa headroom, yung more powerful. Ang QSC, standard yan na 100% more powerful. Ang Sherwin Vega paminsan 200% more powerful. All in all, ang importante dyan is you have enough headroom. Depende sa applications. Halimbawa, kung pang-battle mo ba, 200% more powerful. Kaya yan kasi heavy duty naman. Ganun lang po. Next video is about PM, PO, and RNS. Okay? Or mag-request na lang kayo. Like and subscribe, by the way. Have a nice day. Thanks.